Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Wednesday meditation gathering. I'm so glad you're all here to share this time together. Meditation gathers energy when we meditate together. This week, Nick Arandes will lead us in meditation. Then we're going to have 20 minutes of silence, and after that, we'll open it up for sharing, and we'll end at 10:45. Over to you, Nick.
Okay, so I'm going to leave you with the sort of like an imagery type meditation, and well, let's see how it goes. You can close your eyes if you feel like. You can keep your eyes open because this is going to be sort of like a meditative practice, which is going to be our daily life in a way. So right now, we're resting in a space. Drop every meaning, every story that the mind may be generating about anything. Just be. And that beingness is what is referred to as the background. That beingness, it's always there. There is nothing that cannot be other than beingness. That's all there is. It's like a movie, like on a screen. The screen is the background. So the piece that we are in right now is called the background. When a movie is projected onto the screen, the movie becomes the forefront. But what is permanent is the background, the screen. We are resting as the background. All the images that we perceive, either through hearing or seeing, sensing, anything that can be perceived through our senses, it's what is referred to as the forefront. But who we are is the background. As A Course in Miracles teaches me over and over again, nothing means anything is a way of allow me to remember that nothing that I perceive can be a distraction to the place in which I am always resting, which is the background. So all we're going to do for the remaining time in this meditation is to simply be. Let the thoughts be if they want to be. Whatever story that the mind comes up with, just allow it to be. Don't force it. Don't try to change it. Don't try to suppress it. Just let it be. Just like a movie. The screen doesn't care whether the movie that is being projected onto it is a drama, comedy, or whatever. It doesn't matter. The screen, it's always the screen, and the movie is the changing of images. Well, that's what we're going to practice in our daily life, not only throughout the rest of this meditation, but even after the meditation is over, our life is going to be resting in that awareness, in the awareness that I am the background, and the images and everything that I perceive in the forefront cannot distract me from the place in which I rest right here and now. So let's just surrender completely and just be. We're going to do it in silence together for the remaining of the meditation that we're doing here. Just remember, the background is the I am, is that which cannot be threatened. The forefront is the illusion, that which is not real. So the background, nothing real can be threatened. The illusion, the images, the forefront, nothing unreal exists. Remain in the background, and herein lies the peace of God. resting in beingness, remaining as the background. We begin opening our eyes if our eyes were closed, but with remaining as the background, meaning that it seems like we're seeing things, but seeing is just a happening. It seems like we're hearing things, like my voice, for example, but that is just a happening. It seems like we're feeling things. That is just a happening. All that we see, all that we hear, all that we feel is transitory. It has nothing to do with who we are. What we are, or what is closest to what we are, is the background in which we rest in every moment. That way, the world of illusion, although it appears, is not a distraction. And that's the awareness in which the Holy Spirit invites us to rest in at every moment, while the world of appearances seems to be taking place. And that is why lesson 155 reminds us that there is a way of living in the world that is not of it. So we can now continue resting in this space if anyone has, or someone is keeping the time. Seeing here it's 11:25, so that's what I felt, that the 20 minutes already has been gone by. So if anybody has any questions, or if you just want to rest in this space, it's so welcome.
Open your eyes slowly and come back into the room. We have about 14 minutes left for sharing your reflections and your questions. If you'd like to speak, raise your hand or use the reactions button at the bottom of the screen, and I'll invite you to take yourself off of mute. If you'd like to ask Nick a question or comment with confidentiality, put your message in chat at the bottom of the screen, and I'll read it out. Who'd like to share?
Hi, this is Renosha.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. I found that very powerful. I could have, and thanks for that extra time, actually. Yeah, it just felt like time disappeared, and yeah, I was just able to come back to God and to truth and to stillness. So I really appreciated that foreground and background, and yeah, I just found that, you know, that just, and I have worked with that statement before, of course, that nothing real can be threatened, but I don't know, it just felt perfect for today. Yeah, just really easily slipped into my consciousness and just really soothed my consciousness as well. Yeah, it's very restorative. Thanks. I felt like I could stay in there for like another 6 hours. Yeah, to be honest. Yeah. Thanks.
Be like this for the rest of your life, because that's the trick.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Would anyone like to share? Eunice, take yourself off of mute.
Thank you. Yes, Nick, thank you. I really enjoyed that, and I love that analogy, which I'll start using now. I'm very new to Course in Miracles, and I found that I'm just being in the background, and the foreground is the illusion, like the screen, the film playing on the screen. Found that very useful. So thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Just remember this. The forefront is not only the images that I perceive. The I, it's also the forefront.
Yeah.
This is the little confusion
Yeah.
in levels where sometimes it's tricky, because then it appears that I, the person,
the body,
is
person,
background, and I'm looking at the forefront, but I, the person, is part of the forefront.
Yes, part of the illusion.
Exactly. But the background, however, is the space in which right now we are resting. Even as we are talking, you see, when you're resting in the background, meaning that there's no meaning projected onto anything, as you can see, a conversation appears to be happening between you and I, but while the conversation appears to be happening, in reality, I am resting, or the I am, whatever you want to call it, is resting in the background. That's what I was referring to the lady before, that this is the way of life. You wake up in the morning and you realize that you haven't waken up in the morning. It just so happens that, boom, an imagery seems to happen, and it believes that I am the one who is experiencing that. But in reality, all that there is experience. And that's why all the Course in Miracles is telling me to get out of the way. What does it mean, get out of the way? Nothing means anything. It's just what is. And that's how I can rest in the background while the forefront is still happening. And I still engage the same way. I still talk to you. I still do the things, but somehow when this awareness settles in, it's like the world is perceived, but it's not happening to me. It's just happening. See, and that's how we don't take it seriously. That's the thing. The tiny mad idea is not the problem. The problem is that we took it seriously. I believe that the tiny mad idea is who I am. You see? And now it's just being, resting in beingness, you know? So that's all there is. That's all they're asking for. That's all there is. There's nothing else, you know. And then Again, this is something that settles in. It's not something that you experience. It's just basically an awareness that it's what I am, you see. And that's
Yes.
why every philosophy, including, of course, A Course in Miracles, which we refer to here, always point towards silence. It never points to understanding. Somehow says the understanding is to try to get the mind to disengage. But in the end, it all comes back to resting in the background. You see, that's what is referred to as being, not doing.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Who'd like to share? Vivian, take yourself off of mute. Can't hear you, Vivian. We can't hear you, Vivian. Yes.
You can now, can you?
Yes.
Yes, I had to unplug my earphones. Just to say, it was a really lovely, deep meditation. And like Rona, I felt I could just have gone on and on in that space. So today, for me, was an especially deep, restful, peaceful meditation. Thank you so much, Nick.
You're welcome.
Teresa, take yourself off of mute.
Hi, Nick. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Thank you. I just really want to say the same as everybody. I felt so at peace, so still. And although I've heard that analogy before, it was so lovely to be reminded of it because it went on a deeper level. And it, you know, I think it's still in me what you were saying, and I think I really will bring it. I don't want to grasp, but I do want to. I love that place. It's so nice. So, firstly, I want to say big thank you, and it's lovely to see you again.
Oh, thank you. Likewise.
Thank you. And the other thing I want to say is I woke up this morning. I often have night dreams, and I was very unsettled this morning, and I'm really working on the decisions with God, and I thought, this is not the day I want. The day that I had in my night, which was full of the old codependent Teresa. It was full of the old, oh, shall I do this? Making all decisions by myself. If I do this, this one's not going to be right. And if I do that, that's not going to be right. And full of torment. And I woke up and I thought, is this the day I want? No. So I returned, you know, I slowly, gradually returned to the beautiful lesson of today, which is creation's gentleness is all I see. And but I did return, and I thought, can't remember what I thought now. Anyway, the thoughts have gone, and I feel very still, and I feel very grateful. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Can I add something to that? Okay. I'm going to ask you a very interesting question, just to kind of so you can see words that I'm pointing to in the you know, if you want to call it meditation or the practice or whatever we did, right? You said yesterday or last night I was all these thoughts, unsettling thoughts or whatever. What's wrong with those thoughts?
I remembered the last piece. The last little piece, and then I'll answer the question, see if it comes together, was I realized what had happened within my thoughts is that I had separated. That was the key issue. I felt so separated. And when I remembered that I'm not separated, that we are actually one, the peace came over me. So in answer to your question, what's wrong with those thoughts? If I'm back on the screen, resting in God,
Yes.
there is no problem with those thoughts.
Exactly.
There is no problem because I can just notice them. But when I was actually in them, it was awful. So
that's exactly what I was pointing at, because right now you're seeing in the forefront that you're talking to Nick. And this is a thought too, you see? It's just what's happening. So when we withdraw the judgment to it, that's why meditation, in the way that I was putting it here, that's what I try not to use that word, is not about controlling anything. It's about allowing everything to be. Because the screen doesn't care if the movie is a horror flick or is a funny flick. You are that in which everything seems to happen, but you are not that to which everything is happening to. You are the space, you are love. Love does not reject anything. Love accepts everything. The only reason why we reject certain things is because we project a meaning onto that. You see? But now, the moment you realize, oh my God, what I am is that which I am, this, you can, as a human being, you cannot really talk about it really because you're part of the projection. But as you rest more and more in that space, as the resting happens, you see, this is the shift that happens. There's a line in the course, as a matter of fact, if you want, I can read it to you, which is very beautiful, that kind of sort of summarized to an extent. And it's on chapter 8, section 6, paragraph 9, and begins on, it says, the journey to God is merely the reawakening of the knowledge of where you are always and what you are forever. It's a journey without a distance to a goal that has never changed. Is to say, if you're dreaming and you're in bed, you see, the journey to God is not a returning to your bed. It's a recognition that you are in bed. You see, that's why it's a journey with a distance. And then it continued. Truth can only be experienced. It cannot be described and it cannot be explained. Meaning that truth is the experience when you awaken from the dream. But while you're still focused on the dream, it cannot be explained because right now I cannot explain what truth is because truth is the disappearance of this whole thing. And it continues. And this is where Jesus would say, it says, I can make you aware of the conditions of truth, but the experience is of God. Together, we can meet its conditions, but truth will dawn upon you of itself, meaning that I can make you aware of its condition. What is the condition of truth? Inner peace. I can make you aware of that within the dream, but the experience is of God because the experience is the disappearance of the dream, meaning the whole disappearance of the whole thing. So he says, Jesus, together we can meet its conditions, but truth will dawn upon you of itself, meaning that if we choose the Holy Spirit thought system, meaning if I rest in the background, you see, that's the equivalent, we can meet his condition, which is exactly what you just shared there. Oh my God, I started identifying myself with this, and all I had to do was to step back. Well, life is like that. This conversation is like that. If you and I were engaged in a very passionate conversation, we're forgetting that we're the background, we're believing the forefront, you see? And that's why we go back to lesson 155. There's a world of living in this world that is not of this world, but it appears to be that way. What it means, right now it appears that you and I are having a conversation. It appears, you see? But in reality, what I am, which is what you are, which is what we all are, is the background. In other words, it's love, you see?
Okay, everyone take yourself off of mute and show your appreciation to Nick.
Thank you so much, Nick.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful.